almost had it this week. That's all right. Hopefully my mic's on, and we will start with our dumb news segment. So if you missed the last few weeks, yeah, I find the stupidest news possible that's on the internet, and we go over it. I picked like the top 8 stories, and there should be a nice little ticker going on at the bottom of the screen with news stories that Fizz and Sprinkles picked out themselves. So the first story we have is a 41-year-old man dead after rushing into the Burning Man festival. Oops. This is so messed up. I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but a man rushed past layers of security officers into a massive fire into the Burning Man festival. I think it's from, what is it, that really bad Nicolas Cage movie? No, it's The Wicker Man, but same thing, I would assume. So he ran through it, he set himself on fire, and he died. And authorities are investigating the death of Aaron Joel, who's 41 years old, and he broke through a bunch of security, blah, blah, blah. And there were about 50,000 people there, and he was the only incident, which I guess that's good. Everybody else was fine. He was just somebody who set himself on fire. Thankfully, the officer said, we don't know if it was intentional on his part or if it was kind of induced by drugs. We're not sure yet. Personally, never really taken any drugs, but I don't think there is one out there that would just convince yourself to run into a bunch of flames and then die. But that's okay. So I would like to think it was an accident, but if he did, he went out with a bang, I guess. This is a fun one. Realtor disciplined for taking framed photo from home and then posting it online. A Nova Scotia-based real estate agent has been slapped with a 4-month license suspension after taking a framed photograph that belonged to the owners of the home that he listed. The Nova Scotia Real Estate Commission wanted to suspend Timothy, what a weird name, Timothy Harris, on Friday, saying that he is ordered to pay a $4,000 fee and then up to $26,000 in legal fines. And in the decision, the commission said Harris took pictures of the photograph and posted a copy of it to a Facebook page called Images of Nova Scotia. It was a private collection of his. This sounds so even weird. And the weirdest part about this whole story, when I first read it, I thought he took the photo and posted it online. But no, he literally took the photo home, then took a picture of it, then posted it online, and the owners found the picture online and then knew it was missing. So I'm not saying you should do it, but if you're ever in somebody's house and you want to take personal pictures of theirs, just take it with your phone and then leave the picture there. That way you don't get caught. So it's still dumb for everybody who's like, what? It's still dumb. This one is probably one of my favorites from the week. 20,000 bees swarm the bee whisperer for a pregnant bee belly shoot. Emily Muller, she's in Ohio, she loves bees, I would hope so. Not only because they're central to the business she operates with her husband Ryan, and then I skipped the rest. So she had it, pretty much she was pregnant, and she wanted to show life and death, so she covered herself in 20,000 bees, and her husband or somebody was taking pictures of it. And her reasoning behind it was that she just thought it was beautiful, and she really likes bees, so she fed the bees. They don't eat honey, but I guess whatever they eat, pollen or whatever. So they were full, and she said that way their stingers couldn't be straight, so they wouldn't sting her. And then you're thinking, Jared, that's not how bees operate. They operate in like a gang. How did she get all of them on her? Well, that's easy. She says she kidnapped the queen into like a little cage and held onto it so all the bees swarmed her. And this is while she was pregnant. And you're probably wondering, Jared, that's really stupid, and I would say so. And she claims that it was very dangerous because if one stung her, they all would have stung her, and she would have gotten 20,000 bee stings. But thankfully, she was holding the queen. And then you're probably wondering, Jared, she was, of course, checking on the baby the entire time. She says no, she can't even remember if the baby was responsive or not during the photo shoot, which is just terrible. She said, I wasn't paying attention. It was a little nerve-wracking. It was my first experience with them being on my body and wearing a dress, which posed a lot of threats. I don't even want to know, but she's fine, the baby's fine. I don't really care about her, the baby's fine, I guess. So just don't do that. And I guess she's getting a lot of publicity for her little bee farm or whatever the hell she's doing. I like bees in terms of, if they all go away, we're all dead, but I don't like what she's doing. And she never said if she released the queen back into the ocean or whatever she does. Armed men accused of holding up Woodland Bar where cops were celebrating a colleague's retirement. So 2 armed men held up a Woodland Bar on Tuesday, where a group of Baltimore County police officers had gathered for the retirement party of the department, or somebody in the department, sorry. Really? Wow, so Wendy used to work there. We're gonna have to interview her again. So maybe she knows these people, or maybe they were celebrating a retirement. 2 people came in blaring guns at 5:30 p.m. And then some of the officers put down their drinks and they ran and captured the people. What an amazing story. So they gave chase, they apprehended the 2 men, and I guess they continued partying. We need to get Wendy her own mic back there. This is a fun one. It's in quotes. So a mermaid told man to drive his car straight into the sea. 36-year-old Lim Ping Jiang has been accused of endangering the personal safety of others after he drove his car into the sea at Ocean Drive off of Santa Costa Cove last Friday. I don't think anybody here has worked there. As for Lim, his car had sunk to the bottom with him trapped in it, and he was only rescued when a mermaid, no, I'm just kidding, when a yacht full of police officers happened to take him out. And he's facing a lot of fines, and he's claiming that he was driving and a mermaid was like, come play in the ocean, so he decided to do it. But it's just knowing that the mermaid didn't save him, so it's a shame. This is self-explanatory, and all of these are real. I have to do research, sadly, which is just more Googling and like trying to find the original source of this. Woman calls police to complain about bad meth quality. A woman in Montana, I thought I was going to say Florida, Montana allegedly called the police to report that she had bought bad meth that caused a bad taste in her mouth. I've never tasted meth. Has anybody else here done meth? Does it taste good? No? I don't know if it, but apparently it tasted bad. So she called the police and said, I do meth 3 times a day and I've never had this kind of reaction before. So she mentioned that along with her boyfriend had purchased the drugs the night before and that she injected herself at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 3 p.m. But if she injected herself, how did she have a taste in her mouth? I don't really know how any of this stuff works. But she was arrested on a felony narcotics possession charge, and the offense carries a prison sentence up to 5 years. And apparently when she was arrested, they said, do you have any more on you? And she said that she had some in her bra. So they just like kept upping the penalty for her, which is just crazy. So if you're going to call the police, well, if you're going to do anything stupid, we've learned to not drive your car into the ocean and say that a mermaid is trying to be with you, I guess. Don't cover yourself in bees. Why do we even have to say this? Do not rob a store that Wendy used to work at that also has a police retirement party going on. And then also don't call the police to complain about the bad meth that you got. I feel like I'm teaching all of you 1 week at a time. And if you have any questions, if you're wondering, Jared, should I do this? If you're going to end up on Dumb News, the answer is probably no. And if you have any Dumb News articles, you can tweet at Late Night Web. Send your Dumb News articles in. I know some of you have already been sending some in, but keep sending them in, and we will keep reading them.